All right, let's go ahead and get started with our first filter functionality. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the notes. So over here I have add component state for text. All right, so this state that I'm going to add, we're not going to add into the Redux state, only because I know that this state is going to be applied or applicable to just this shop component. So let's go ahead and add this state here, but since I'm going to make this a component state, I'm going to bring in use state, and then now I can make use of it. So I'm going to do text, and then the method used to make the changes on this text state is set text use state, and by default we'll set it to an empty string. All right, next step is we're going to apply the OnChange event handler and listener. So go back to the shop page, and let's go ahead and look for, here we have our input field for our search. So let's go ahead and add our OnChange. And when there's a change detected, such as a user typing in new text into the input field, this will fire off, and we're gonna call, or we're gonna want to execute handle search, and handle search will be our event handler. Let's go ahead and add this right over here. Call handle search, gets its event object passed with it. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change our component state right here. So we'll call it set state and pass in target value. All right, there you go. So there's that. And the next thing, once it changes the component state with the user's input, next thing we're going to do is we're going to dispatch an action function, which we're going to create shortly. And that action function, we're going to call it get products by filter. And this will take in, the argument is we're going to pass along with it. It's going to be an object, and this object is going to contain two properties. The first property is going to be the type, because this property is going to of type is going to depend on what type of filter is used. As I mentioned, right now we're going to use two filters. The first one is for the search by text, and then the other one is going to be search by categories. So that's where this type is going to be come into use later on, especially when we pass this date when it arrives over to the back end, because based on this type is gonna we're gonna use it, the type that arrives to the back end, we're gonna use that to determine specifically what type of query we're gonna perform. All right, I'll show you later on, and it'll make sense as we arrive to the back end. But this type, for now, since we're dealing with a filter by text, we're going to pass type of text, and then the second one is going to be the query, and the query here is the event target value. All right, so you see an object with two properties, the type and the query. All right, so now let's go ahead and get products by filter. Let's go ahead and import that. And again, we haven't created that yet, but this way we can get it out of the way and we don't forget about it later. So this is going to be in the actions folder, and we're going to call it, it's going to be the filter actions file, and get products by filter. All right. Save that. Now we took care of this. Now we're going to actually create the action function. So what we're going to do is here, we're going to collapse this components folder, go into the Redux, and grab our product actions file. Oh, wrong one. Actually, wrong file. We're going to grab the filter actions file from the actions folder. All right. So another thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my products actions file, and I'm going to copy this action function get products, because this new action function we're going to create is going to be similar to this one. So I'm going to close this up, go back to our filter actions file, paste it below, change this name to get products by filter. This will get an argument. And let's go ahead and remove these two here for the loading. All right. This right here would not be a get request. Instead, it's going to be a post. The route, the API route is going to be API / filter and then search. And then a second argument, pass in the argument. So once this makes its post request to the backend is going to return to us a response, which should be it should be a collection of products. And then at that point, we're going to dispatch get products, and we're going to pass as a payload this same thing right here, which is response data products. So that stays the same. For the catch, if we get an error, we're going to do catch. Let's see. I'm just going to switch this here. Get products by filter API error, and then everything else stays the same. All right. So now we got our action function taken care of. Next, let's go ahead and move to the back end. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to our route. Let's go ahead and add our route here for filter. I'm going to copy this here, paste, and this will be search / search. The controller is going to be called get. Let's see. Yeah, get filter. No. Filter. Let's see. Search. Search by query type. All right, just like that. All right. Let's see here. Okay. There we go. No, it's not getting. All right. So next step is let's go ahead and go to our controllers folder and pull out the filter file. So what we're going to do here is, let's see. All right. So I'm just going to copy this here, paste, and make this change and call it search by query type. We can go ahead and delete everything here, and just to start off, we'll leave an empty comment. And if, let's see, we can delete this here for now. And for the error, if we get an error, filter controller, and then change this and paste that there. All right, there's that. All right, first thing we want to do here is we're going to destructure or grab the data that's coming from the back end or from the front end. Remember that what we're sending here when we dispatch get products by filter is an object with two properties, the type and query. So that's what we're going to get here in the back end. So let's go ahead and destructure those two things. And that's going to arrive in the request body and destructure both the type and the query. Next is we're going to start work within our try block, and we're going to declare a variable called products, and we're going to start a switch statement. And the switch statement is going to switch on the type, and based on the type is going to execute, well, it's going to execute something different based on the type. As I mentioned, that filter is gonna the filter type could be it could be a text, meaning that we're filtering by the user clicking typing into the search field, or it could be by category. And this is very flexible because, again, later on we can decide to add more filters, and I like this approach because, again, we can continue on the front end to just continue to reuse this action function and pass in an object. And simply by changing this type right here, the type which will be the filter type that we're using, then we could determine that here in the back end and again execute it based on that type. So I like this approach here. And so what we're going to do now is, if the type is case of, say, text, what we're going to do is we're going to make a query here to the database. We're going to do await product dot find, and the way we're going to be able to search by text using Mongoose is we're going to do a text here, and then pass search, and then here the value for this for the search property, we're going to pass in the query, just like this. All right, and then we're going to break out. And again, later on, such as when we use when we're filtering by category, we can add another case statement, and then that case is going to be the value is going to be the type is going to be category. So we're going to end up doing something like this based on category, and then at that point we're going to do a different database request, which will be stored in products, and it'll be something like this. All right, so again, this is I think this makes this very clean, and I like this approach here. All right, so in this case here, if the type is text, we're gonna have some products here, and if not, we're gonna arrive here and we're gonna check this condition. We're gonna check if not products dot length is greater than 0, then by default what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna just fetch all the products. So we're gonna do await product dot find, and then pass in an empty object which will fetch all of the products. All right, at that point we're gonna send the response back to the front end. We're gonna do response JSON and pass in the products. All right, so here we took care of the routes. We just now took care of the controller. And another thing we're going to do here is we're going to have to, since we're dealing, when we make use of searching by text, such as we're doing here with filtering, one thing we're going to have to do is go to the model for the product and add an index. So here, go to your models folder, grab the product file, and what we're going to do here is we're going to do product schema dot index, pass an object, and this first the property we're going to call here is product name, and this has to match this product name here. All right, because that's what we're using that filter on. And then the value of it is going to be string of text. All right, so that takes care of that. So, all right, and finally, we're gonna disable the button here. All right, so let's go ahead and check this, by the way. See where we're at. Get products. All right, we gotta go to the filter actions folder, and we're making use of this get products constant, but we didn't import it. So let's go ahead and import that. Import from product constants and get products. All right, save that. Oh, another thing I forgot to do was go to your shop, go to the shop component, and here where we have our search input field, go ahead and add the name, add a name attribute of search, and for the value, we're going to pass in the text, which is the component state property up here. All right, go ahead and save that. Now go back and let's go ahead and test this now. So if I do, let's do pizza. Okay, why is this not working? Pizza. No, it's not working. Let's see. Pizza. Filter, API code. Let's see here. Let's look at our network. All right. Let's see. Get products by filter. Let's see here. Here, dispatch, post, filter. All right. Go to the routes. Search by query type. Oh, okay. Here for the backend routes, you see how I have this. I'm making this using the get. Use the post, because remember, this is a post request. Go ahead and save that. Go back. That should resolve our issue. Let's make sure. I'm going to refresh the page. All right, so if I type pizza, there you go. So you see, as I type in pizza, it filters out and gives us all of our cheese, all of our pizzas. And notice that here also, as I delete letters, I'm going to delete one letter, and then automatically it just starts displaying all of our products. All right. So let's say pasta. All right. So it filters out and gives us all of our pastas. Let me close this console up. Say burgers. You see, gives us burgers. If I start deleting, it returns everything, all of our products. All right, so that's working right there. So let's say right now we don't have any beers. I know we have a category of beer, but in the database we don't have any beers. So if we put beer here, it doesn't bring up it doesn't filter out anything because we don't have any beers. So it just shows us all the products. All right, so there you go. We have our search. We have our search field working. Let's also be more specific with a product. Let's say penne pasta. So let me type in penne. There you go. It filters out and gives us specifically the penne pasta. Let's say we want to search pasta parmesan. So let's do parmesan. There you go. And if I click this X here to reset, it shows us all of our products. There you go. Another thing I want to do here is because I'm not going to be making use of this search button, but we can leave it as a label just to be more specific, to let the user know, hey, like this is a search field. I can leave it here, but I'm just going to disable it. So the way we can do that is go to the shop component. And right here at where we have our button for a search, we can add the disable attribute and make it equal to true. And by doing this, it will disable our button here. Okay, no, that did not work. Oh no, wrong one. Actually, it was not supposed to. It was remove that from the button and instead add that to the input field. So like that. All right, save that. Okay, let me see here. Save that. Okay, that wasn't, no. Disable, oh, disabled. It's supposed to be disabled. Yeah, so remove that again from the input. Add that here, but put disabled to true. Save that, go back. All right, there you go. So now you can see it's kind of faded out. So that's how you know it's working. All right, there you go. So let's go ahead and do that again. Let's do veggie burger. There you go, filters out. And as you delete letters, it just pretty much resets and shows you all the products. All right, so there you go. We have our search field working now, and the next step is to start working on the functionality for our checkboxes here on the side.